Okay, so here is a requested guide on how to pass your Phoenix road test at 51st Avenue in Indian School, DMV. I just followed a car through a road test, and I don't think the guy passed because he turned left right in front of traffic, but I'll show you the road that they went on. What you could have just seen to my left is the little coned area where the three-point turn is. I have 3 other videos with really good descriptions about how to pass that three-point turn. The three-point turn at this DMV is identical to the one in Surprise and Glendale. It's a left-hand side one. So get that stuff done, get it practiced a lot. If you can't do that three-point turn without hitting cones, you should not be wasting anybody's time trying to do this road test, because that's the first thing you have to do. So first we come up to the stop sign on the road test after you pass that three-point turn. And there's one thing that you want to notice right away. There's a state law in Arizona that if there is a sidewalk that goes through your driveway, which there is right in front of me on the ground, you have to stop before the sidewalk, look both ways for pedestrians. Now there's a big sign to my left and I can't see anything, so I'm sticking my nose out a little bit over the sidewalk so I can see all the way down this road. And they're going to make you turn right and then an immediate right at the lights. So you want to turn in the first lane. I'm looking right now, there's the 2 closest lanes to me are not open. Only one of them's open, so I have to wait till all these cars go through because you don't want to try to turn right next to another car. Now that there's no one coming down that road, I'm turning down onto here, the first right turn lane, and then we make a right at Indian School. This is only 1 mile away from the most dangerous intersection in the entire city at 59th and Indian School, so make sure you take this one carefully. If it's red when you come up here, you are allowed to turn right on red, but you're not required to in any street in Arizona. So if you're not sure that it's safe, just stay there and don't go. You can wait for it to turn green. You will not lose any points on the test. They're not allowed to mark you points off for not turning right on red. It's optional, it's not required. So once you notice on this road there's a speed limit of 40, you probably won't get to go 40 because there's usually a lot of traffic. This is the most densely populated neighborhood in Arizona. This place is really crowded all the time. So it's just go whatever speed you can without getting too close to the guy in front of you. If you can read their license plate, you're probably too close to them and you can lose a lot of points for tailgating. If you do decide to do a right on red at that light at Indian School, make sure that you make a complete stop before any of the lines. You can't just plow over the crosswalk like everyone else in the city does. You can lose a lot of points for that. So then they're going to have you turn right up here at 47th Avenue, the first stoplight that you come up to. Again, if this one's red, you can just wait till it turns green, or you can stop before the lines and then you can wait, see if the crosswalk's clear, and then pull forward to see if it's clear and all that stuff that you do a normal right on red. This one has a posted sign of 30 on this road, so I actually went slower the first time. I thought it was 25 because it's a neighborhood, and all neighborhoods are usually 25, so they won't mark you up points for that unless they're a real Nazi, but it just honestly depends on the guy that's grading the test. Some people don't, some people don't. Just whatever you do, don't go more than 30 because you don't want to lose a lot of points, and speeding's a lot of points. So as I'm driving, I'm just checking to the left and the right here, just making sure there's nothing crazy going on. The way this person stopped right here will make you automatic fail on your test. If you just plow over the crosswalk like that without checking for pedestrians, that's running a stop sign. That's an automatic fail. Like anything that they consider a dangerous action or causing a crash or something like that can be an automatic fail. So just take your time. Don't be in a rush like all these people are. It's your driver's test. You want to do it carefully. So we're coming up to our first stop sign here. This one is a all-way, or what we call a 4-way stop. It has a little sign under the bottom that tells you. So when you stop at this stop sign, you don't have to just sit there for a long time and creep forward and look both ways. At 4-way stops, it's a little bit differently. All you do is make a complete stop. Oh look, a government vehicle just ran a stop sign without stopping at all. Nice. So all you have to do is, at a 4-way stop, just make sure you make a complete stop and then look both ways. If you're the first one to stop or the only one there, then it's your turn to go. And if there's other people there, you have to let whoever stopped first, they go first. And if you stop at the exact same second as somebody else, then you just look to the right. Whoever is on the right side should have the right of way. And if nobody's going and everybody stops at the same time, then somebody just go and keep the order moving along before people start getting angry and honking and flipping each other off. So there's a left turn coming up here. This is where I saw the guy almost kill himself in front of me on his test. They're going to have you do a left turn in this neighborhood here. There's some solid double yellow lines in the middle of the road, which means if you turn left, you don't want to hit those lines. You want to do it nice and wide, make sure you don't touch any lines. And if there's cross traffic that's going straight, you have to yield to them. So again, I'm turning way out wide here so they stay on the right side of the road. I'm not going to cut that left turn really sharp and plow over the middle of the road. And then there's another stop sign up here where you just do another left turn. This one's not a four-way stop. It doesn't have the little tag at the bottom that says all-way. This one, there's a line on the ground, so I'm going to stop before the line, which is the law. Now I'm going to move up to my lateral curb line, which now I can barely see if anyone's coming down there, but I can tell it's clear. That means I can go. And again, there's a double yellow line. You don't want to touch that line on the ground. You want to turn nice and wide. If you plow over that double yellow line, it's an automatic fail. So take your left turns wide. Don't drive on the wrong side of the road, not even for 1 second. Then there's one last stop sign up here at Osborne, which is a pretty, not busy, but barely busy road. It's a halfway street between Indian School and Thomas. So they're going to have you do a left turn at this stop sign. Now, I did not notice the speed limit sign on this road, so I'm just going to assume this is 25 because you can see it's a neighborhood. And you always want to be careful in the neighborhood. There's a lot of people that could just back up for no reason and hit you, or some kid could run out in the street, or someone's dog, or a basketball, or something. So you want to be going slow enough that you can stop. So here, this stop sign has lines on the ground, which means I am required by law, no matter what I'm doing, to stop before the lines. Now I can go up to the lateral curb line, which is that little line right after the crosswalk line where the pavement gets a little bit darker. And here I can see to the right and to the left, over there's a red truck coming. So I'm going to sit here and wait a second. I could have made it if I floored it and rushed, but like I'm trying to show you a good example of not being in a hurry and failing your test. So take your time until you're really sure, and it's a nice wide left turn again, not touching the yellow lines. And then you come back up at a different angle to that same four-way stop sign from earlier. Make a complete stop and take turns with the other cars there. Again, this one, a four-way stop. You do not have to slowly creep forward and check both ways. All you got to do is stop. And I stop before this guy, plus they're turning, so they should yield the right of way. And notice that I'm not hesitating and being overly cautious, because I don't want to hesitate and confuse that person across the street. If I sit there and screw around and wait a second or hesitate, they might think that I want them to go first, and then they'll just floor it right in front of me, which would be a dangerous thing. So being too slow and careful can cost you a little bit of points on the test. It's 2 points off if you're too slow or you wait too long. But in real life, because people can be so crazy and impatient, being too slow can actually cause an accident. So now you just go down the rest of this road. This is all 30, and it's about a quarter mile to the next stoplight at 51st, and then you just turn right at the light and go back to the DMV. I hope that this one will be right, or that this one will be red, so I can show you a red on red for the test. If not, I have a video called How to Drive Without Breaking Any Arizona Laws that you can check out. That has right on reds in there. Also, there was a dip in the road right where I just passed. Try to go slower over that dip because the ground is full of these gouge marks from people's bumpers slamming into it when they go too fast. So here's a little stoplight up here. Now there's cars in the center lane that are going straight, and this is actually one lane. So if I were to squeeze around the right side of this car to try to make a right on red, that would be illegal, and I could lose points for that. What I'm going to do is just be patient and wait my turn. It's not that big of a deal. It's your road test. Make sure you take your time. Now, when I'm doing this at a normal stoplight, if I'm going straight like the car in the very front is, I'll do exactly what they did. They moved way over to the left. That way people can go around to the right if they want to. That's being nice, just getting out of the way and helping people get around about their business. But you don't want to be doing two cars in the same lane side by side, especially not if there's a cop around, because you can even get a ticket for that. So now we'll just wait for this light to turn. And this is a small street going up against a big street, so this light will be a very long light. And that's okay. Notice that I left some space between me and the car in front of me. Also, you don't want to cram up tight. That's a mistake that's very common in this town that you see people doing, but there's nothing good about it. So unfortunately, I got all green lights on this test. I hope that you guys do too. That makes it a lot easier. But if you don't, if you get red lights, remember, take it carefully. Make sure you always stop before the lines on the ground. Don't just right over the crosswalk. That's a lot of points off on your test. And you potentially hit a pedestrian. A lot of people die every year from that. So don't just plow across the crosswalk. Make sure you stop first. Then you're allowed to inch forward, only without sticking your nose into the next lane. And if it's clear, then you can go. Or you can just wait when it's red and just not turn until it's green. That's also acceptable. That's 100% legal. There are some cities in North America, like New York City or Montreal, where you're not even allowed to turn right on red ever. So that's just an Arizona thing where everybody can turn left on green and right on red. But what I saw them do at the very end was pull into the back entrance of the DMV that I just passed, where that white smart car was. But I'm going to pull back into the front and wrap this up. So when you pull up to the DMV, before you even start, make sure your blinkers work, make sure your horn works. They will check everything on your car, and if you have a broken horn, or your speedometer is wacky, or your blinkers don't work, or a tail light's out, they're going to send you right home. And make sure you get that 3-point turn down 100%, because I just sit here. Before this last car that I followed, I watched 2 or 3 people come in here and fail this test because they hit cones. If you're that unprepared for your test, don't even waste your time or your family's time or the DMV's time. Make sure you got it down before you even try this. The 3-point turn's not that hard, and if you can't do it, you shouldn't be driving around on public roads anyways. It's not very safe to be doing that. So anyways, good luck, and if you need help with the 3-point turn, check out my other videos, how to pass your Avondale or Glendale road test. Those have the exact same 3-point turn as this one does. And thanks for watching. Okay, so I'm going to go back to one of these stoplights and do a right on red, just to show you. I stopped before the lines. I can see there's people in the crosswalk over there. Once they get out of the crosswalk, I'm allowed to inch forward a little bit to see better. And now that I can see that there are no cars coming on the left or the right, I'm going to make my right turn on red. Now, never go into the crosswalk if there's people in it on your test. Our state law is that they have to be off your half of the street. So if it's a big 2-way road like that was, and the people in the crosswalk are on the opposite side of the road, then you're allowed to go out into the middle of the crosswalk and see better. But if you're in doubt at all and it's your road test, you don't want to screw it up, just wait for the light to turn green. It's like 30 seconds max, that's all it is. And you'll be able to go with a green light and not have to worry about doing the right on red wrong. So anyways, thanks again for watching.